views expressed on this program are those of the hosts, guests, and callers, and are not necessarily those of this station, its management, or other advertisers. You're listening to Transformation Talk Radio.
Hi, welcome. This is Dr. John DeMartini. This is one of the most amazing and inspiring shows that you can listen into. If you want to be on the edge of your seats, if you want to open up your heart, if you want to expand your mind, and you want to meet incredible people, stay tuned because you're just about to experience a transformative radio show that will change your life. And you're listening to the Dr. Pat Show that's coming up right next.
The following audio is via a Skype call.
Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. Talk radio to thrive by. Powerful, inspiring, and coming to you live, bringing you stories of people like you and me, busting through and living life full out. Get ready to dare to wonder what your life would be like if you knew you could not fail. Hey, everybody, welcome. It's so great to have all of you here. Dr. Glenna Rice is in the house. And for those of you that don't know who Glenna is, I'm going to ask Glenna to give us an update. And the reason being is you just heard me talk about awakenings, how they happen. And when Glenna and I first met, first of all, Dr. Glenna was not yet awakened. But since the time she and I first met, not only is she out in the world in a way that's helping so many people, but she travels the world. You know, she owns her own company. You know, she teaches access consciousness seminars worldwide. She does calls with thousands of people. And, you know, this is somebody that's like the little Energizer bunny. Doesn't roll over, lay over, and is energized by her life. And that's what's important about it. Today, you're going to hear about a number of events that she's got going on. But more importantly, today's show is this. When your world is turning on its head, what can you do? When your world is turning on its head, what can you do? And, you know, what's fascinating about that is we think about, well, there's nothing I can do. Well, the election, Standing Rock, Brexit, what is it? What is so right about all this and that we are not getting? How do you create change without reacting? I don't know the answer to any of that, but that's why we have Dr. Glenna Rice. Glenna, it's great to have you here.
I'm so happy to be on. You just made me smile with your introduction again.
Oh,
Thank you for that.
Yeah, before we jump into this, I want to just do a little check-in. You know, when you and I first met, both of us had these ideas about what we were going to do and how we were going to do it. And I remember you and I were talking at the many times we've talked, and all of a sudden, you know, what else is possible came from you to me. That has become my sort of credo in things. When technology is not getting done, what else is possible? You know, the what else is possible idea is brilliant. But for you, what else became possible for you in what is considered a relatively short period of time? Because when we first started, you weren't Dr. Glenna Rice, right?
Right. Wow. So many things. I could huge list, but because that was about 3 years. How long have we been on this show?
Yeah.
It's been a while.
And it's a short period of time when you think about it, right? It's really a short period of time in life to have things change for you.
Getting my doctorate was one of those what else is possible things.
Yeah.
Which was interestingly easy with all the work I had to do, and I kept my business going. I actually got busier while I was doing my doctorate, traveling more, and that all was created magically. The bodywork class that I teach, ESSE, the Energetic Synthesis of Structural Embodiment, was a major what else is possible. It's the bodywork I've been doing for 20 years, maybe not quite that long, 15 years, and I'd been doing it in my private practice, and now I'm teaching that all over the world, and I'm getting called all the time to, for people, come to this country, come to this city. I just was in Japan last weekend and had the biggest class I'd ever had. And they're still talking about it on Facebook. So that is taking off greater than I can imagine. My kids are in college now, creating really cool lives. That was not something I was seeing 3 or 4 years ago. So, I knew their lives were going to be great. I really didn't know what they were choosing. That's greater than I can imagine. And what else is possible for them?
Yeah. It's such a great phrase, but when you say what else is possible, something changes, something shifts. And I wanted you to talk about that a little bit because I've not been able to explain it, but I have to tell you, I can't tell you how many people I've said that to in the past several years.
I love that. It's so cool. I mean, it's such a simple, practical tool when things aren't working for you or you want to create more in your life. And what it does is you're being a question. And when you're a question, you open the door for possibilities. When you're a question, you open the door for awareness for things. A question that's not looking for an answer, but a question that's looking for something else. Opening doors. So you ask a question, any question you ask that's like that, you open a door to start receiving the information from everything around you, everything you're contributing to, everything that wants to contribute to you from the universe, and you open this door and you start receiving what is possible. And when the door is open and you're receiving, then you can start seeing those things that will start contributing. So you start, like if you're looking for college, it just popped in my head because my daughter's doing that. What else is possible for my future? And then she goes to Ireland, and her aunt starts talking to her about going to colleges there. And then one of the colleges gets, pops louder than the other ones, and she talks to them, and, she's applying to go there for next year. So without the question, she might have been in her head thinking too much. So get you out of your head so you're not coming to conclusions about what it should look like, but you're opening the doors to what is possible. It's usually, like I would say all the time, greater than what you could imagine or what you think could show up.
Yeah. But, this idea of stepping into that is also about things that show up in a world that we're not really jumping up and down happy about. And people have an opinion about whether you're looking at Brexit or you're looking at the election or you're looking at Standing Rock or you're looking at other things going on in the world. I know, we're looking at an effort by Jill Stein to do some recounts, and it's all happening. People are marching, they're protesting. Some people are not, but all of this turns into life. It's life. So here we are. Are we resisting? What are we doing? And how's that working for us?
Yeah, well, people tend to, in this reality, we tend to function from either resisting and reacting to something or aligning and agreeing. So, the election, there's a lot of people aligning and agreeing in different ways. Some people are really thrilled that their guy's in. Some people are devastated. Total reaction to it, resisting it. The recount, that's a lot. There's so much resistance in the recount. I'm actually just interested. I think it'd be kind of fun to see.
Yeah, me too. I'm kind of like that.
I think it will change the presidency. Probably not in this 10 seconds. No, but it would be an interesting, but when you're coming from resistance and reaction, you actually are aligning and agreeing with whatever's going on because you still had to agree with everything about it to resist to it. You have to be aware of it, conclude about it to create a resistance or a reaction. So really they're the same energy. And when you have that energy, all you're doing is adding to the thing that's not working for you. Adding more, if you're fighting something, then that energy of fight adds to the fight. If someone's fighting you and you're fighting them, that your energy of fight will actually add to the energy that they're being. It doesn't create a change. It creates more of what you're actually asking to change. Doesn't change. It creates more of that instead of creating something different, something else possible. Yeah. What else is possible is the question.
Yeah. Here's a question I have for you, because I get a lot of emails and I get I've just recently started to post something on my personal page and so forth. And I've gotten a lot of reactions all over the place. But, here's the question that I wanted to ask you. Is doing nothing really doing nothing? Do you know my question? Is that a weird question for you? Do you know what I mean?
No, it made me laugh, so there's something fun about it.
Okay, good. I think it's a fun question.
It could be if you were just apathetic about it. If you're not, it could seem like you were doing nothing, but if you have an energy that's wanting to create change and you're being that energy, that will be creating change. I mean, doings, if you're going out there, like going to Standing Rock and protesting there, can create change. And if you're doing it without a significant point of view about how it should show up, you're going to be creating a lot of change in consciousness there. I do have a couple of friends that have been out there past week.
Yep.
But but you don't have to do those kind of things. You don't have to take those kind of action steps to create a change. Just being a different energy is going to create something. And, asking what works for you. What can you do to change things? What can you be to create a change on the planet that would work for you? And if you can do that without a point of view of what it has to look like, then you can create way more change than you can imagine. If we have a point of view, we totally limit the change that we can create.
Well, this is really the question. How do we create that change without reacting? I love that question. Yeah. How do we create that change without reacting? I think it's hard to even imagine what that means. And let's just talk about something really quickly before we go to break. How many people are creeping up on this time of year where we want to set a goal? Let's keep it simple. Gee, I already know that next year I want to lose 10 pounds. And, if it were only that energy, like, oh, it could be so much fun losing 10 pounds, but just saying the word losing 10 pounds, rather than, oh, it could be so fun, not having these extra 10 pounds, whatever that is. But that's not necessarily what we do. It's usually a little rant and a little rave about how much we ate that we're feeling guilty and shame about eating. If I could only not eat that extra half a pie that was put in front of me over Thanksgiving. And, I wish I could go to the gym and work out, but I'm not going to the gym and work out. So now I don't even like myself because I can't even keep my own commitments to myself. And so if we're doing that, and have that kind of energy about stuff that we actually can change, what the heck is going on with us when we feel we have no voice in the world? Let's take a short break. When we come back, no voice in the world. We'll be right back.
You're the light, you're the night, you're the color of my blood. You're the cure, you're the pain, you're the only thing I want to touch. Never knew that it could mean.
Transformation Talk Radio is dedicated to the education and awareness of Lyme disease.
Hey, everybody. Welcome back to Lyme Talk Radio. I'm Dr. Pat, joined here by
Dr. Nusheen Darvish.
Dr. Pat Basili and Dr. Nusheen Darvish will be bringing the most innovative, groundbreaking information, research, treatment innovations, and stories from those it affects every day.
I'm so excited to be talking about this.
We have so much to share.
Dr. Darvish and I are planning to do is connect the dots.
People suffering with all sorts of chronic diseases, it's time. It is time for them to transform.
Tune into Lyme Talk Radio and help keep our mission strong.
For the loyal listeners out there that have been listening to this incredible show on Lyme disease, we are not going to let you down. We're going to come through stronger and enrich the platform for Lyme disease awareness through Lyme Talk Radio. The message will continue, the conversations will become stronger, and the healing epic.
Are you feeling stagnant or blocked in your love life, career, health, or finances? Experiencing difficulty focusing or setting and achieving goals? Tune in to Spiritual Diagnostics Radio with psychic visionary healers Carol Dorian and Suzanne Evans. Discover the cause and effect of unwanted patterns in life. Tune in every Tuesday at 12 p.m. Pacific on Transformation Talk Radio. For more information, visit spiritualdeed.com.
Tune in to Lucid Planet Radio with Dr. Kelly Neff. This hit show will illuminate your senses and empower you beyond your daily stressors and hardships. Renowned psychologist and author Dr. Kelly will captivate you with far-reaching topics and amazing guests as you wake to the greatest version of yourself. Learn to tap into your intuitions, think critically about our world, heal emotional and psychological wounds, and follow your passions to live your dreams. The Lucid Planet. Welcome home. Visit lucidplanetradio.com for more information.
Do you ever feel as if you're working twice as hard but only getting half as far? Are you trying to connect with your path in life and finding it elusive? Mainstream Metaphysics Radio is a weekly call-in show where we harness our connection with the universe and use what is in our power to affect change for optimal success and happiness. This hit show bridges the divide between what is and what we do not know. Eve, named one of the country's top psychics, also known as the MBA psychic, invites you on this journey for this live call-in show with readings, featured guests, leaders, and visionaries in both business and spiritual callings. So join Eve Thursdays at 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com as she takes metaphysics mainstream. For more information about Eve, visit EliteTarot.com. That's EliteTarot.com. Hey, everybody. It's so great to have you back. And Dr. Glenna Rice is in the house. You know, before we get to that question, which I'm just going to sit back, Benny and I are just going to sit back and let you really enlighten us on this, because it is really a conundrum. How can people find out more about you? And you've got a ton of classes coming up here all over the world. Tell us a little bit about those, if you would.
I'd love to. So you can go to my website, glennarice.com.
Mm-hmm.
And you can also go to find all my listed classes. Simple way is going to drglennarice.accessconsciousness.com.
Awesome.
And that will get you my list of classes. Yeah, I'll be in Kansas City, Missouri this weekend teaching an SE class. I'm going to Mexico City, which I'm really excited about that class. I've never been to Mexico City, and it's really pulling me. And I'm doing a conscious parenting, conscious kids class there, and a class on money in your body also the night before the SE class starts.
Wow.
I have a live stream. Oh, this is because anyone can join this one. No prerequisites, and it's a live stream, so you don't even have to fly to see me. I have Empowering Your Kids to Know class that I'm doing with an amazing occupational therapist who's worked with kids, gifted children, you could call them, for years. I did that for quite a while. Before in Boston, I worked with in a school for disabled children. So we're going to be talking about empowering your kids to know. It's not for gifted children, but it's for all kids and for you, because everyone was a kid once. So that is going to be on the 3rd of December, starting at 7 o'clock, and you can register on my website and let us know you want to be live streamed, and you can watch it on your computer. Really, It's my first live stream class too, so I'm really excited about that.
Oh, I'm excited for you. There are so many people that are in this awakening space, right? And what I mean by this awakening space, I mean that, today they have, shown up in the world. And this was the question I was asking you before. Folks are showing up in the world and, they're asking themselves a lot of questions, but part of this is really about looking at, can I really do anything? What is going on? What is there that is so right about what I'm not doing or I'm not getting? But I really talked about a very broad, big question before the break, and I'd love for you to talk about that a little bit.
The question of if you're just asking to lose 10 pounds, so that's what you want to do. That's your goal.
Start
for
with that. Start with the 10-pound one, because in that 10-pound question is a lot of other questions.
Well, what happens is that, let's go reverse back a little bit. Your point of view creates your reality. Okay, your point of view encompasses your thoughts, your feelings, your emotions, everything you've grown up with, the reality all around you, what you've decided is true, all the things you've solidified. Your point of view creates your reality. And if you're asking to lose 10 pounds, and then you went through a whole bunch of reasons why it might not work, and all of those, I mean, it was a great list of reasons, but and all of those are what we use to stop ourselves. Those are our points of views. Our point of view is that to lose the 10 pounds, you have to exercise. Well, what if that is not even how your body would change the 10 pounds? You also aren't talking to your body in there. What are your conclusions about your body? What decisions, and what's your point of view about your body? And how many of those are actually creating the body that you have? And how many of those have the 10 pounds in it? Like every time you look in the mirror and judge your body, oh my God, you're so fat. I wish you'd lose 10 pounds. You are solidifying that point of view that you're so fat into your body. So when you can get rid of all of this is where you align and agree and resist and react, because you resist and react to your body's weight. You align and agree with the weight being there, and you can't change it. And then you come up with all these reasons and justifications why it can't change, and these other things about how you think it would change based on this reality. None of it is a question. And the first question to ask is, can I change this body? Can we lose 10 pounds? And then your body can let you know with the light heavy that we've talked about on so many calls. And then, okay, body, what would it take to change it? What's possible here I haven't considered? I've seen people lose weight just from that question. I've seen people take a class with me and be 2 belt sizes down at the end of class just from receiving energy work on their body. So it's the change. We don't know how the change shows up. We just know that it shows up. And the how part is where you're the question. So how you would lose 10 pounds is where everything contributes to you. And you usually can't think that into place. It's not like I exercise 3 hours a day, I stop eating, then I'll lose 10 pounds. It's like, what would it take to lose 10 pounds? And then that's that question of what else is possible here. And then allowing the awareness to show up. And the how it shows up is not something you're going to know before it shows up, because it's always going to be different. You can't think the how's into place. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does. And one of the other things that makes sense about what you just shared was, this idea of creating a story about what we think has to happen. And the story is a story of what if it were easy? What if I adapted that story? What if it were easy? And, you and I were touching upon this earlier that, right now we have millions of people that have signed petitions because their belief even now is that they can create a change, that they can, that something could be different. And so here's my question. When we take an action, or we believe there's an action, whether it's, I believe losing weight's going to be easy, I have fun with it, this is what I do, I get to cook things I don't cook. I mean, I can create a whole story around this because I actually do that. When I decide I need to drop like 3 pounds, and I'm looking at doing that right now, is I don't come up with, I'm going to starve myself. I come up with, wow, I'm going to get to make some veggie stir fry here and, that thing. But I've had to work really hard, and I've had to learn from you about how to approach things really differently. How can we help people when they've got a different point of view, and it's not about losing weight? It's about, OMG, my guy just won. My candidate just didn't. Oopsie, what do I do now?
Right. Well, one of the questions when it's really awful, and for some people this is, and some people it's really exciting.
Yeah, it is, right. There are two sides.
But I was a little surprised in the morning. I wasn't as surprised as I thought I was. Somewhere I had an awareness about it. But is asking a question, what's so right about this I'm not getting? Okay, that's one way to get yourself out of the loop of the wrongness of the whole thing. And you ask that question, and usually there's a little lightness that shows up. And I've asked that question about a lot of the stuff that's going on the planet. I mean, I travel all over, and I'm in Europe and Japan, and people are talking about it with different points of views in different places. And no one I talk to is very happy about what's happening with America or with Brexit that I speak with. So you say, what's so right about this I'm not getting? And asking that question, for me, I've seen, wow, and you've been talking about this, it's waking people up. Like we're sleeping.
Yeah.
There was this whole thing going on around that we weren't listening to and hearing about people wanting to be separate, wanting, fear-based that the whole world's out to get you. And the way to change that is to create all these barriers around your country and keep everybody out, and fear of, other people that without any awareness. Because fear is such a tricky thing, because when you function from fear, you stop your awareness. Fear is a distractor from awareness. So if somebody was
say
a
that
danger
again
to your country.
Let's stop for a minute and say that again, because that's a golden nugget right there.
Yeah, when you create from fear, function from fear, you stop awareness. And it's a great thing for a politician to use to instill fear, because then you don't have to be aware of anything when you vote for them. And both sides do that. That is a great way that American politicians run their campaigns, fear-based reality. But yeah, if you're afraid of something, you can't be aware of what's true. And this is something I talk about a lot on parenting calls with kids. To have your kids be aware, not afraid, creates a totally different level of safety. But if you were worried about immigrants coming in from fear, you could never be aware of an immigrant that could be coming in that actually could be, the dreaded terrorist that's going to show up in your backyard, because you're functioning from fear and you stop your awareness. And you can't be aware of the ones that are going to come in and, create $1 million businesses and change the country either from that place, because you're just functioning from fear. You can't see what's true. You can't know about the situation if you're functioning from fear. What was I talking about before? We were going down and we stopped with the fear thing.
Yeah, I mean, what the path we're going down is the confusion that I think many people have between doing nothing means I'm not resisting, and doing something means I am resisting. Whether it's lose 10 pounds, whether it's how you engage in politics, whether it's how you feed the homeless, right, or not. Having been homeless myself, I have an affinity, towards people that are homeless. I'm the one that's going to give that person on the corner money and not question it. That's just me, but I'll tell you, if I got somebody in the car and I stop my car and I roll down that window and I hand money, chances are there's going to be somebody in the car that says, why are you doing that? They're just going to buy drugs. And, that's not my reality.
Right.
How do we get to show up as the people that we are and still believe that we are empowered to create the lives that we want? Let's take a short break. When we come back, is the person I am that person that can still have a voice in the world? Do I even know what I believe? Is it fear talking or is it awareness? When we come back, Glenn is going to show us how we can tell the difference and what we can do about it. Are there moments in time that you would like to set the clock back in your life? And I'm not talking about the election here. I'm talking about things in your life. I know I've looked back at my life and I've said, I don't do it much anymore, but I have said, I wish I would have done something different there. Do I really? How would that affect who I am today? Let's take a short break. We'll be right back.
Chris Stanis is a spiritual leader and healer and teaches a course on how you can transform your life through a meditation and healing system that will manifest your spirit's dreams. She manifested the Women of Wisdom Conference, the Women of Wisdom book, and this radio show. And she can show you how to change your life too. Are you ready? Visit the website and contact her at voicesofwomentoday.com. That's voicesofwomentoday.com.
Wow. Hey, everyone. Welcome. Welcome to the Dr. Pat Show. This is Talk Radio to Thrive By. I'm telling you, I got to pinch myself some days, because when each of us gets called to do something that we so not thought was in our wheelhouse to do for a purpose that's so much greater than us, we get to show up and shine.
If you would like to show up and shine on the Dr. Pat Show as a co-host or sponsor, send us an email to inspire@thedrpatshow.com.
Tune in to The Michael Shane Show, the third Tuesday of each month at 11 a.m. Pacific on TransformationTalkRadio.com and connect with the ascended beings to raise your vibration and manifest the life you desire. Get ready to receive healing through the transphysical mediumship of Reverend Michael Shane and the ascended beings. Visit MichaelShane.com. That's MyChael, Shane.com, and call 425-971-6632 to schedule your full healing session now.
Do you keep attracting the same type of guy over and over? Do you believe all of the good guys are taken and you might be single forever? Hi, my name is Deb Acker, and in addition to being the host of Truth Talk Radio, I'm an intuitive life coach and energy healer. I clear energy blocks to all areas of life, including love. Did you know that many times the thing that keeps us attracting the same type of person is energy related? What if you could complete this pattern for good to attract conscious, loving men? Don't think it's possible? Several years ago, this is where I was, and I went on a journey to figure out how to undo this for myself, and I now help others with this. I love helping clients clear this pattern for good to have the love they so desire and deserve. If this resonates for you and you're ready to be truly done attracting the same type of person, I'd love to gift you with my pattern identification session. Simply contact me on the contact page of my website, DeborahAcker.com. That's DeborahAcker.com. And let me know you heard about this gift through Transformation Talk Radio. I look forward to connecting soon.
Hey, everybody. Wow, welcome back. Dr. Glenna Rice is in the house. Again, Glenna, how can people find out more about you? Because I know we're going to get started here and we're going to get really, into the conversation about change and truth and all of the above.
Yes, GlennaRice.com. You'll find all the ways to reach me. And you can find all my classes at drglennarice.accessconsciousness.com. And I do have another event on the 17th. There's a weekend, Body Awareness Weekend is a whole big event across the world that Access Consciousness is creating. And on the 17th at 12 noon Pacific time, I have a free Google Hangout that you can also find the link to register on my Dr. Glenna Rice at Access Consciousness or .accessconsciousness.com. So that's a fun way to hear me talk about body.
Awesome. Okay. We're really not shying away from some of the tough conversations here. Everything from whether or not your candidate got elected to how many pounds you want to lose, right? Right. I think what starts to rise up from all of this is this sense of, I'm not really going to make a difference in any event. I mean, does anybody really care whether I lose 10 pounds or not? And I think we have this conversation that goes on within ourselves, right? And we start to question whether we're actually showing up as the change that we've been asking for in the world. This is can be a complex conversation because I think we're all being asked to face ourselves. I've gotten more emails from listeners that have voted for any number of the 4 candidates that were there, 4 of them, from candidates saying, I don't know why my candidate didn't drop out. I wish my candidate would have dropped out. People are all over the map. But what I know is there is a significant amount of pain and fear. And I really want to talk about how we can stay true to ourselves, how we can stay empowered regardless of what's going on the outside.
Great question. One of the things is that what you're talking about with people, it sounds a lot like they're making themselves wrong or something about everything wrong. Wrong is energy that's full of tons of judgment, stops everything. And when you have those point of view that it's wrong, nothing else that doesn't match that point of view are you ever going to see. So if you're coming from that, you're going to go into, I can't change, I can't make any changes, I voted the wrong way, I voted for the wrong person, everything's bad in the world, why don't I just eat worms, right? But that's how your reality is going to be created, and there's no question in that. And, that's okay for a minute. For certain things, crazy stuff happens. It just doesn't seem like you can't imagine that it would have ever shown up, and it does. You can have your moment, but then there's ways to, what's so right about this I'm not getting? I gave that earlier. What else is possible here I haven't considered? Can you change it? Do you have a voice? That's a question to ask. What is this energy of the world that's going on right now? What is that? Becoming aware of it, what is it? Can I change it? Can I change it? There's a lightness that can show up. Yes, you can change it. So what do I have to do to change it? What is it that I would have to be, do, create, or generate differently in my life to create a change here? Now, you may not be, signing petitions or going to Standing Rock and protesting. That may not actually have any effect when you do that. And the people that are going there, if they're asking questions, they may create quite a change doing that. There may be totally different things that can create a change. I mean, we've just started talking in Access about, and I love this, having acts, ACTS, acts of consciousness. Very close to access consciousness, so it's kind of hard to hear. But doing acts of consciousness. Now, consciousness, the awareness, it's like the awareness of everything without any judgment, without resistance and reaction. It's to receive the awareness about everything. And when you have all that information, then you can start to choose and create and be the things that will create the changes you're asking for. If you have any judgment, if you have a wrongness in place, if you have fear in place, you cannot see the things you could actually be and do and create and generate that would create the changes. You should put a whole wall up to you. So how do you have you? You take those walls down and you become vulnerable with you and see what's true. And then you get the potency of you that's available to change everything or anything or what you're asking to change, be it 10 pounds or changing, creating a change in the point of view of this reality where we're not these countries that are fighting each other. We're not electing officials that are doing separation. I would like to see that change. I mean, if it's just that Trump changes his point of view, I'd be happy with that. He can stay president, change his point of view, I'd be happy. I'm not invested in how it shows up.
Right.
It's more that it shows up and what's it going to take for this to change. I don't want to live on a planet where everything is, where we're consuming the earth from violence and ugliness and not listening to the earth at all and not listening to what people are wanting. People don't want the pipeline there. The people that live there.
Yeah.
These are companies with lots of money. Put a few bucks into it and make a change. That's my interesting point of view.
Yeah.
But I don't want to live in where the people that have awarenesses about the land aren't listened to. These things aren't really working for me. And that's part of this whole, not resisting and reacting to things is you can also see what works for you and what doesn't from out the place of resistance. It's like, oh, does that work for me? Yes or no? Absolutely, it's a no. It doesn't work for me. Okay, so what can I be and do differently to change that? How can I be? So I'm talking about it on a radio show today. For me, that was really light when I looked at what we were going to talk about today.
Yeah.
And I was like, it took me a few days to even have anything come into my head, and it was boom. Oh, and then it was like, would that create something? Would that be light if I did that? And it was a yes. I was totally inspired by a Facebook Live event that Dr. Dane here, who's been on your show, did about Standing Rock, and he did a lot of clearings and asked for contributions from the earth. And it was a beautiful 45-minute Facebook Live, which anybody listening can go to Facebook and just type in Dr. Dane here, and just a ways down his news feed, you'll find that live video that's still up. So I was totally inspired by that. And so that's, that is what you're asking for. Do I have a voice? Yeah, but I'm choosing to have the voice from something that'll work, not from, I'm wrong and I should do something. I'm totally right about this and this has to be done. It's no, what's going to create more for what I'm asking for my future and what would work for me.
Mm-hmm. It's really fascinating because I think there are several perspectives that are changing. And I was talking the other day on the air, and I made a comment, and I've received a number of emails about it. And the comment that I made was, whatever you thought the youth of this country were about, we're all looking at it and thinking again. whatever ideas you had about their level of complacency, they don't care about this. I mean, there's just a list. And as a matter of fact, Jessica sent me a YouTube from, I guess, a millennial where she's talking about all of the defects. And I was just shocked by that. But there's a new perspective now. See, this once ridiculously categorized group of millions of people, millions, right? Not just a few, millions of people, a perspective about who they were was they're this, they're that, they don't want to work. That, I mean, my gosh, it's a ridiculous list, to be honest with you, just really ridiculous. But now we have a different perspective about them. Now they're renegade, now they're rebellious. I mean, in weeks, we have changed our point of view about a group of people. How does that even happen? And I'm not saying it's true or false. Yeah, I'm not saying it's true or false or anything else. I'm just saying that we are in search of truth. It seems to be elusive for us right now. What is true and what is a lie? And I'm ashamed to admit that this article that came out about the media the other day, about how the media is confused about whether or not we tell the truth or collude in a lie, and how media across the United States is confused about that. I get confused in reading the article.
No, so you're talking totally about having conclusions and points of views about groups of people or about media, and that never works. I mean, there's no awareness in conclusions. There's just no awareness. Yeah, I've got millennials in my house who were devastated. 2 of them were devastated by the election. They wanted Bernie Sanders. My kids were so for Bernie Sanders. And I was traveling all around not following anything at that time. I'm like, who's Bernie Sanders practically? What's so great about him? And they told me they were so well informed. And the way when you're you've only been, this is your first election you can vote in, because both of my kids, this was the first presidential election they were able to vote in, and your candidate doesn't show up. It's really interesting. Kind of can be devastating for a minute. I remember that when Ronald Reagan was elected. I was the same age as my kids. And I was like, what? And then you start looking at from this fear place into your future about, well, this is going to change, and that Planned Parenthood's not going to be given money, and all these other things. But those are still fear-based conclusions. Like, okay, that's not going to work for me. What can we do to change it? What can I do to change that? And you were talking about the truth and the lie with the media.
Yeah.
Media's gonna spin the stories the way they tell them. There's going to be truth with lies attached, and anything that's actually a truth is something that's solidified, so actually isn't true 10 seconds later. It's actually what is true for you is kind of ongoing, and you can just ask if it's true. It's light. Is this true? Is what they're saying true? Does that feel light? What they just said? Yes or no? And if it's true for you, it's going to feel lighter to you. There's going to be more space or more energy, or your body's going to feel lighter when you hear it. When it's a lie, it feels heavy. And you can listen to any news broadcast and ask, true? Is that true, or is it a lie? What they're saying, is that true? Funny thing is, you'll find that most things are heavy no matter what news station you listen to. There's a lot of heavy. There's a lot of lies going on. Or they're saying a bit of what's true, and then they add this other stuff to it to sensationalize it, and then you get stuck with the sensationalism. Because if you have something that's true and you attach lies to it, then you get stuck on the part that's the lie. Because it's kind of light, but it's weird. And that lie part will stick you. And there's a lot of that. That's how they sell their stories. So we have to be, consumers.
We're not just talking about the election here, Glenna. We're talking about many, many things, in the world. I mean, we're hearing about, wait a minute, if I get that prescription drug, it's going to help me do this. Is it really? Yeah. And so it's how do we learn? How do we learn how to tap in to the level of awareness that's going to bring us peace and joy? Let's take a short break. When we come back, how do we look at truth and make that connection? how do we turn that attached lie that somehow affixed itself on our hearts? How do we turn that to joy? Let's take a short break. We'll be right back. Get into it for 2016. Do you want more prosperity, clarity, energy, and balance in your life? Join Lynn Brown now for one of her amazing workshops, each focusing on a key part of living your best life. For more information and to register for one of these amazing workshops, visit lynnbrownevent.com. That's lynnbrownevent.com. And get into it this 2016 with Lynn Brown.
What if your body and mind were the compasses to the secrets, mysteries, and magic of life? Glenna Rice, co-host of The Questionable Parent, is inviting you to access all that is possible. Glenna is a 10-year certified veteran access consciousness facilitator who offers an amazing variety of life-changing classes and workshops. Work with Glenna from anywhere with teleclasses and workshops all over the globe. To learn more and see Glenna's current schedule of events, classes, and workshops, visit glennarice.com.
Tune in to The Jen Royster Show, intuitive guidance to inspire your life, each Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 11 a.m. Eastern on TransformationTalkRadio.com. This amazing show is an inspirational hour that will take you on an epic metaphysical journey to discover the spiritual approach to life's greatest challenges. Dr. Jen is an internationally known intuitive counselor, spiritual teacher, and energy healer. Call in for intuitive readings and visit JenRoyster.com for more information.
Do you want to achieve your goals? Do you want to strengthen relationships with others? Do you want to improve your financial status? Colette Marie Steffen is partnering with Mark Kettenbach to bring you an energetic upgrade online experience. Unfold and develop your full potential. Visit energeticupgrade.com today for more information. That's energeticupgrade.com.
Are you sick of feeling overworked with no motivation? Take a break from the daily grind. Life coach Nicole Eisler is here to provide a healing journey of optimism. Passionate and caring, Nicole is no ordinary soul. Her dedication to helping everyone has no limit. Witness the power of positivity. Tune in every first and third Tuesday at 4 p.m. Pacific for Positivity Party Radio with Nicole Eisler on Transformation Talk Radio. For more information, visit BigDreamAwakening.com.
Do you know how to achieve wellness in all areas of your life? Hi, I'm Mary Jane Mack. Signs of wellness are a capacity to love and ability to nurture, a sense of purpose, a good sense of humor and plenty of fun in your life, a concern for others and a respect for the environment, a conscious commitment to personal excellence, a sense of balance and integrated lifestyle, and capacity to cope with whatever life presents. Well, people enjoy their lives and want them to last as long as possible. That's why the wellness mindset usually accompanies other constructive, healthy lifestyle habits. By adopting a wellness mindset and behaviors like eating well, taking the right nutrition for the body, exercising, and saying affirmations are just a few things to structure a healthy system of values and beliefs. Call us at 888-777-4232. That's 888-777-4232. And visit us at MaryJaneMack.com.
Hey, everybody, welcome back. What a great conversation. And I love when Dr. Glenna joins because I get to look at the many, many sides of things. And actually, today's show is in response to the many emails and calls and different ways you've contacted us so that we can have a conversation about when your world is turning on its head, what can you do? That's the show today. Glenna, I just want to turn this over to you to answer that question. You know, when the world is turning on its head, what can you do? And it's not all about the election. There are many things going on in the world that people are affected by today. What can we do?
The first thing is to become aware of what it is. You know, what is this thing that's turned everything on the head? What is the energy that's created that? You know, what is it? And not go into reaction and resistance, because that stops your awareness of what it is, and then you can't change it. And we talked about, you know, being able to change things. It's like, you know, those are the ways you start to create the changes you're asking for, is becoming aware, having no judgment, conclusions, and decisions about anything. And this is a muscle you start to build, because when you don't have conclusions, judgments, decisions, you start to see how easy it is for things to change. When you have those in place, you can't see the change that could be created. So there's a great question you can ask: what is this? Can I change it? And if so, how do I change it? What can I do with it? Can I change it? And if so, how can I change it? Is it one of the things you can start asking when things turn on their head? What's so right about this I'm not getting? Other questions that I've asked that change it, like when I'm really resisting something, like I'm pissed about something, I'm pissed at somebody's done something that's made me really angry, it doesn't work for me. To stop my resistance so I can create a change, I'll say, wow, how can that person make me more money? Now, I don't know why it's so weird, but if there's something you hate, you don't want to receive any money from it. You don't want to receive anything from it. So I'll say, okay, so how can the new president make me more money? Now, right then, I start dropping my resistance to everything, and I can start asking other questions. And I'm happy with making money. If he's going to, I might have some investments. He changes a little bit this and there. Money can show up. I'll receive that. That would be fun for me. But I also stop resisting him, and then I can start seeing more of him and what he's creating in ways that I can be to create something different. Because I've stopped resisting him, and so I don't have my barriers up anymore, and I can start seeing more of what he's being. It doesn't work. If we're resisting, we have too much of everything is blocked. That's one of the ways you can stop this whole everything's turning on my head. What can I do? Changing your point of view is the first thing you can do. And then, what can I do to change it? How would you like to be? I do have a clearing that I could run. It's kind of fun.
Yeah, I'd like to do the clearing, because I think that you're absolutely right. Getting something that will take our minds in a different direction so we can begin to shift. But let's do the clearing.
Yeah. Okay. So what change have you decided is not possible? It is possible that if you knew it, would allow you to change everything. And everything that is, you want to destroy it and create it all. And I'm going to do the clearing now for access, right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. And for those of you who wonder what I just said, you can go to theclearingstatement.com. There's a little 15-minute video that's up that explains that very eloquently. So it's just a way to get rid of a lot of the energies, the right, wrong, good, bad energies that lock things up. You can't see anything else possible. So I could run it one more time.
Yes.
What change have you decided is not possible, that is possible, that if you knew it, would allow us to change everything? And everything that doesn't allow that, we destroy and uncreate it all. You can say yes, right and wrong, good and bad, POD and POC, all nine shorts, boys and beyond. That was better. Some of you guys might notice, like, there's more space or lightness, or you smiled, your eyes opened bigger. I felt like I was floating for a second there. I don't know how many listeners you have out there, but that was pretty cool.
Yeah, it was very cool. Wow, it was really cool. Thank you so much for having this conversation today. I know that many of you have really been scratching your head and been asking for support. And I think that, today's show and what you've shared is a way for, people to really know that they can create a different point of view about things. Glenna, thank you so much. One more time, how can folks find out more about you? And last question, what's your personal message for everyone today?
So you can go to glennarice.com to find out my website, and then also drglennarice.accessconsciousness.com. How about if we just go with what else is possible? Know that you know what's true for you. If it's true, it's light, it's heavy, it's a lie. And if you can just go through life with that awareness, things are going to start creating themselves greater.
Awesome. Dr. Glenna Rice, everybody. And remember, when you step out today, we certainly have another hour on Transformation Talk Radio coming up. What else is possible here? That is the most incredible question that I've learned with Glenna. We'll see you next time.
Preceding audio was via a Skype call.